Hi, my friends. Thanks for joining me for another Assemble This video. Today, I'm all about a double take. We'll create two unique holiday cards featuring Unity Stamp Company stamps and papers, but they each have a totally different look. I'll be using some simple stamping, a few fun die cuts, and an easy trick to add a little bit of shine. You'll see how just a few tweaks can give each card its own beautiful look. So let's get started and assemble these cards. For the first card, I'm going to be using some handmade mulberry paper. Just has a lot of texture and beautiful warm colors already incorporated into the paper. And because of that, I really want to highlight that texture, and I'm going to give it a torn edge. And to do this simply and easily, I'm going to take a paintbrush or a water brush and paint a line of water and then just tear along that line. And now we have this really organic edge that's rustic that works really well with this rustic holiday card. I'm going to give it a bit more structure by mounting it on some craft cardstock. This kind of makes it more opaque and then gives it some more stability. So when I pop it up on my card, it has something to really give it structure. I'm going to be stamping with the Poinsettia Comfort stamp set from Unity Stamp Company. I'm using the clear stamp version, but there is a rubber stamp version as well. You can pick whichever one that you prefer to use. I love them both. For the clear version, I do like to prep all my clear stamps with a white eraser. Just takes away any manufacturing residue, and then I just wipe it off with a baby wipe or a wet cloth just to wipe away any of that eraser bits that might be left behind. And then I just ink up my stamp. I'm using VersaFine Clair today and the Misty stamping platform just because I want to do some repeat stamping. The mulberry paper has a lot of texture to it, so this way I can kind of layer up that stamp and make sure I get all the spots that are missed. This one just happened to need a little bit more stamping CPR in areas, but when I moved it over to the other side of the panel, it stamped perfectly the first time. So it just really depends on the paper and how many times you might need to repeat stamp. And just a reminder for my Unity friends who are new to clear stamps, the Misty platform has a foam insert that you do need for clear stamps because they're thinner, and this will help you get a really nice impression of those clear stamps. Moving on to assembling our card, I have a A2 card base, just plain white cardstock with some of that beautiful paper. It's from Nature's Noel. I am in love with this paper. I apologize. I'm probably going to be using this paper over and over again because I just can't get enough of it. I also paired it with a little bit of the Noel's Charm pattern paper. The tone was just perfect for the colors in this card, and then it had a poinsettia print to it, which matched the stamp perfectly. So again, just perfect combos, and I love how so many things coordinate in the new Unity line. So I added some string to the mulberry panel, and I'm just going to wrap that around 3 times and then tack it down with some tape, and then pop it up with some foam tape. This will really highlight that stamped layer and then really give it some dimension against those pattern paper layers below it. This is just a simple way to add a bit of dimension to your projects without a lot of bulk. And now we just need to add a sentiment. I picked one from the stamp set that's really beautiful. Die cut it with the scallops and arches die set and pop that up right next to that string. I'm going to add a loopy bow. I just think it adds a lot of texture and fun, and this is an easy way to add a pretty bow without really a lot of effort. I just wrap it around my fingers around about 3 times and then use the tails of the string that I left around the panel, and I'll tie that around the loops. And this gives you a really easy loopy bow that's pretty and adds a lot of fun texture. You can leave both of those tails, but I tend to cut one off. I added a cute little Tim Holtz clip to hold it all together and to add a little bit of an accent. And then I trimmed off one set of those tails. And now we have a really cute loopy bow to finish everything off. So let's start working on our second card. I have some products from scrapbook.com. This is the Daybreak Smooth Cardstock Paper Pack, and then also some craft cardstock. And then I'm using the Cozy Foliage dies. I thought they matched perfectly with the Unity paper pack and stamp set, and it just really all tied together wonderfully. So I die cut those out, and I'm just going to add some ink blending to really kind of add dimension to those die cuts. First up, I'm using Scorched Timber, which has a cool look that matches the silver tones of the branches in the paper. And then I'm using Ground Espresso, which is a bit warmer, and I'm using that on the pine cone. And the ink blending just really highlights the dimension in those die cut lines, especially on the pine cone. I just really love how much it pops when you add that bit of distressing. And y'all know I love lunar paste. This is my favorite color. It is the cookie dough color. It has a real shimmery kind of champagne color to it. It's not very bright gold. It's just a nice shimmer and metallic look. And I'm going to use my finger just to apply it. It just doesn't get too heavy this way, and I can add it to the areas that I really like. And I don't have to clean any special tool. It cleans off my finger. It's super easy. So I'm just going to tap that on in areas over those die cuts. And then I have the amazing grunge cut dies from Unity Stamp Company. I just really love these. This one is perfect. It just has a lot of texture and grunginess to it, and I'm going to add some of that lunar paste to it as well. And then it needed some of that ink blending, and I decided to add that last minute, and it layered over that lunar paste just fine. So you can do the lunar paste before or after, either way it'll work, but I would recommend the ink blending first. For this card, I chose a sentiment from the Christmas Comfort. This is a sentiment kit that has lots of sentiments for those who have lost loved ones or are having a really hard time at Christmas. I think we forget that Christmas is not always a warm and cozy time for everybody. There's a lot of memories wrapped around Christmas that we should honor those people and help them through that time. So that is why I chose this sentiment. I layered up all my die cuts, added another loopy bow, and then I'm just going to glue them down. Make sure that they're nice and secure. I'm using liquid glue for all the die cuts. I added a bit of foam tape underneath the tip of the pine cone and then glue down the base so there's a little bit of dimension there. And then I'm going to pop up that sentiment right in the center of that die cut with another little of those Tim Holtz clips. I just thought it was the perfect little addition. And here's a look at the final cards. The first card has a beautiful vintage feel with simple stamping on mulberry paper and a soft layered edge. I love how the poinsettia and foliage create an elegant rustic look, finished off with a sweet bow detail. The second card has a more dimensional design with layered die cuts and a bit of metallic shine for that festive touch, plus a really heartfelt sentiment for those who are having a hard time during the holidays. And each card just feels really unique, but they both share that warm, cozy holiday vibe. Be sure to check out the description or visit my blog at dahlhouse-designs.com for a full supply list and all the details. Thank you so much for watching and crafting with me today, and I can't wait to craft together again soon. Bye!